Okay, we're going to look at how to add an assignment in Moodle. And first thing you want to do is in your course you want to make sure that your editing button is on. Then you're going to scroll down to wherever you want your assignment to appear, which topic or unit you're in. I'm going to add it to topic 3. You're going to click on Add an Activity or Resource. You'll get a list to choose from. You're going to want to click on Assignment. And an assignment can be lots of different things. They do describe some of the things that it could entail here. It could be questions that you want students to answer. It could be something where they watch a video and answer questions or write a paper or a report. So it's basically an assignment where you want students to submit something to you in writing or audio or video. You're going to click Add. And you're going to give your assignment a name. And then in your description area, you're going to actually put what you want the students to do, what the activity or the assignment actually entails. So in this case, just as an example, I'm going to have them label parts of a neuron. So just as an example. And I'm going to want to edit. And of course you can go back and do this afterwards too if you don't like the way it looks. But since these are my instructions, I'm going to want to increase their font size to a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to give it a couple spaces. In this case I reference that I have a picture. So I'm going to add a picture. And you can add picture, you can add video or not, just leave it as text, however you want it to look. There's a couple different ways to add a picture depending on where you have it saved. So you can upload it from your hard drive. So as an example of that, I do have the picture that I want in my picture folder. And once I do that, you can see that it did indeed upload right there. Give it a name. Or description. And I already typed it in once, so it just popped right back up. And you can see it then appears. So far I've got my directions, and in this case just a labeling worksheet. There'd be another way to do that if you found a picture in Google Images that you wanted to use. For example, you would instead go to Image URL. Go to wherever you found the image. In this case, this is where I found it. Right click, go to Copy Image Location, go back to the page, and then just paste it in. And again, you can give it that description, whatever you want to do, and then insert it. And now you can see I actually have two of the same picture because I did one from my hard drive and one from Google Images. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. I'm going to highlight it by clicking on it, and I'm just going to click delete. So that one's gone. So now I just have the one. And for this particular assignment, that's really all I need to do. If I was going to list specific questions, I could add those as well. So that the actual assignment is now done. Now I need to make some decisions as to how it's going to look and how I want some submissions to be made. So this, if you're going to display the description on the course page, that means this whole worksheet is going to actually show up on the course page. I don't want that. Sometimes you might want directions to show up, but in this case I do not. So I'm going to leave that unchecked. For availability, you can limit when the assignment is open and due. I'm going to get rid of those since we don't know those dates at this point. As far as submission types, this is going to be how a student is able to submit their answer. So this is kind of dependent on the type of assignment it is. If you leave Moodle as an option, it means they could potentially respond using video or audio or even a whiteboard where they draw. In this case, that's not that wouldn't be an appropriate way to answer the questions in the assignment, so I'm going to get rid of that. I am going to allow them to either upload something from their hard drive, or a Word document for example, using the file submissions, or they could type directly into the text box that shows up when they click submit. So I'm going to leave that as well, and I'm going to leave them the ability to add comments. I'm going to leave the feedback types. This is for how the teacher will be able to give feedback to students, either as written comments or as audio or visual. And I like to leave those as is. Submission settings, group submission settings, and notifications I generally leave in their default mode. As far as the grade, you can make it worth a certain amount of points. I'm going to leave it at 100. You could grade it using the simple direct method or using a rubric, in this case just simple direct. And then I'm going to attach it to my grade book. When you set up your grade book, you end up with different categories, and I would put it, in this case, inside my assignments, because that's the grade that it's worth. It's not an exam or a quiz. The common module settings and the restrict access I generally leave in their default. The only other thing I kind of pay attention to is the activity completion. This is personal preference. If you want the student to be able to mark it as done and check it off when they're done, or if you want the computer to automatically check it off when it's done according to one of these three requirements, that they either have opened it and viewed it, that they've received a grade, or that they've simply submitted. I generally do that they've submitted, then it gets checked off by the computer. I can enable a due date, and that's basically it. If we click Save and Display, we'll get it to see what it looks like from the student perspective. So when they open the assignment, this is how it's going to look. It's got the instructions on top. Again, I could make that bigger, a different font. I could underline it, bold it. I could make my picture smaller if I wanted as well. They would click Add Submission, and then they'd be able to either upload a file or type directly into the text box, however they so choose to do that. And that is my assignment. So if we go back to the course and we scroll down to topic 3, you can see the label "The Neuron" has now been added as an assignment. If I wanted it further up, it always gets added at the end. If I decided I wanted it somewhere up here, I could move it. I could change the title by clicking on that. I could move it further in, indent it if I wanted to set it apart. I could get rid of it altogether. I could copy it, edit it, and have it appear somewhere else if it was a recurring type of assignment. And then if I wanted to change it completely, I could click on the gear. These have to do with groups, and then this just has to do if I want it to be completely hidden from the course. And that is adding an activity in Moodle, or an assignment.